I am excited to be talking to you today about something that's been on my mind lately a lot. And it has to do with things that are, I think, are dangerous, that are putting people at risk, that are putting the people we serve at risk as health practitioners, putting ourselves at risk if we're following them, and putting our practices at risk because there's just a lot of that going on. So when I had a conversation with Adam about this, I mentioned to you in my email, you may not even know Adam from Adam, but Adam is one of my favorite mentors in the whole world. And the reason is because he's competent and caring. And we're going to talk about those two traits that if you want to be a good mentor, if you want to be a good coach, if you want to help people, those are the things you need to be. And so when I mentioned these things to him, he goes, well, the same thing's happening in my industry too. It's dangerous. So we decided to get together today. So welcome, Adam. I'm so glad to have you here.
Rita Marie, I'm so excited to be here. I should professionally address you as Dr. Rita Marie on this show, even though you always say just call me Rita Marie. But folks, I am just so excited to be here because you're absolutely right. And I think Rita Marie, we both are on the same page in terms of we observe things that are just long term, I think, very harmful and I can't even talk,
Wonderful.
harmful and deadly to health in your industry, in my industry, is just profitability and long term sustainability of a business. And I think we both like each other because we see those things and we like to just groan and moan and go, "Where you see those idiots out there, blah blah blah." So full disclosure, Rita Marie said, "Hey, let's do this." I'm like, I am as far removed from your industry as it gets. I'm somewhere totally else. But what brings us together is this passion that we care about our clients. We care about the end users. I think we care about overall sustainability of the business, of the industry that we are both respectfully in. And on my part, I'm just dying to get into like what are some of your pet peeves? What do you see that's out there? I want to chime in with where I see counterparts of it in a business arena, and then I think also talk a little bit about what to do about it. And I think my part before we dive into like really ripping into it. Look, I'll be the first one to tell you every time I point a finger out, I know that three fingers point at me. I'm very good at admitting that I've done a bunch of bonehead moves in my business. I still continue to make some of them. So I'm sharing this, Rita Marie, because I think there is a danger that some of the folks watching us might be currently doing some of the things we might point out. And look, if that happens, what I want you to know is we've all made mistakes. And I think the biggest mistake is not admitting that we are making a mistake and just hanging on to, for dear life. Just like, no, I'm right, I'm right, I'm right. That's a big mistake. If you can find something better. And number two, once you realize you're going down the wrong path, change directions. Just go, hey, there is a better way, even though it might be a little tougher in the moment, but long term, it's going to make a, just humongous difference. So I think that's kind of my spin on this. And I think we should just get going with it.
Yeah, let's get going with it. So
Do
you
you
want to know some,
do
yeah,
you
go
have like
ahead.
a top two or top three or top five things, or do we just go like, hey, so if we were to just start with the number one thing that drives you mad right now, what would it be?
It's the emails and messages I'm seeing in my inbox, on Facebook, Instagram, wherever, that are promising people results with minimal effort.
Hmm.
All you have to do is buy this product, eat this one food, stop eating this one food,
Yeah.
take this herb, it's magical from the rainforest, and it's all been, or as one that recently saw, the pastor says it's so and the Bible says it's so. And you can take this, whatever it is, anointed oil special supplement from the rainforest, and you can continue to eat M&Ms and Reese's peanut butter cups, and you can continue to do these abusive things to your body, but your body won't care because it has this special ingredient. And so you can get your blood sugar under control. You can improve your cardiac function. You can do all this stuff if you just take this one herb supplement, oil, whatever. That drives me crazy because people are hurting. People want results. and they want to get better fast, and they want to believe that it doesn't have to be hard. They
Mm.
want to believe that all they have to do is take this one thing. That drives me nuts.
I like that. And yeah, you sent me the link to this one that has a religious spin on it. Like, I found this recipe in the Bible, and God sent us this recipe, and it's so scientific as it gets. It's gonna fix everything. Here's the thing. Here's my spin on this, and I see this in the coaching industry. Actually, I think if we looked at any industry that's not like 100% regulated,
Yeah.
there are all sorts of weird things. I mean, even industries that are regulated, like financial planners. Um, I still see people out there that will spew really weird
Yeah.
messages at the risk of being slapped on their hands for doing this. Um, I think as practitioners, here's the thing. We can't be everything to everyone. There is nothing that works 100%, nowhere, nothing ever, right? Because our bodies and our businesses, our situations are as unique as it gets. And there are some principles that will apply. So, for example, in health, I'm speaking to you in your territory, but it's very simple, right? Calories and energy expended. If you're looking to regulate your weight, I think, right?
Yeah. Go
Right.
on, because that seems like a simple.
But
Yes,
that's principle.
the
But
principle.
now apply it in action, and there will be a million formulas. So if you tell me one thing that's worked for everybody, I will agree on principle. Calories and energy, calories in, energy in, energy out. That's going to equal something. But then in
Right.
terms of how you apply it, there's a million variations. And I think the danger that I see is people that, again, will learn one technique, and then they tell everybody it's going to fix everything for
Everything.
everyone. Every
Right.
ailment you've ever had, that's going to fix it for you.
Yes, absolutely. And it's happening all the time, right? And that leads me to my other pet peeve is these things that are out there. And I must have gotten bombarded with like 20 of them yesterday. Become a health coach in a day, become a health coach in a week,
I
get the
like that one. I'm
$7
signing
health
up.
coaching program, right? How do you
I
do
like
that?
that one. I want to make some money. I want to sign up. Send me the links to those.
I will. You can bet $7 and get all the information you need to do nothing with,
I'll
right?
tell you what, I'll take 3 of those in 1 week, and I'll be triple certified health coach
Oh,
in a
there you
week.
go. Triple board certified in health coaching 101. It's not even 101, right? In college,
So, but,
the 101
so laughter aside, Rita Marie, why is it? Well, all right. So tell me a little bit more, like your take on it. Why is it so bad? Number one, I mean, someone wants to sell something for $7, more power to them. So
right?
what's really bad about it? What's bad in terms of like practitioners falling for this or thinking they really are certified in some way, shape, or form? And then fast forward a year, 2 years, 3 years, what's the danger in the marketplace? What's the danger to consumers?
So there's a number of things here. So number one, what's the danger? The danger is they think they know things that can help
Mhm.
people, and they can be putting people in dangerous situations because they don't really know. In order to be a good health coach, health practitioner, doctor, nurse, whatever, you need to know how this thing works. You need to know how this machine works. And you need to be able to understand and ask the right questions of people to be able to
Mhm.
know, well, when it's not working properly, what are the things that could be going wrong? As opposed to, well, just drink this, green drink 3 times a day and everything's going to be fine. And well, in some cases, they could be missing things that are serious. Like, and I'm not saying that doctors who are, triple board certified, whatever, don't miss things. I heard some horrific stories last week about one person went into the ER with crushing chest pain and nausea and a little bit of what's the word, sweating, and they wanted to take out her gallbladder. This person was clearly having a heart attack, and this is an ER in a major city, not recognizing this because they had some other agenda on their plate, right? And so we can put people in really precarious situations. Fortunately, the person who brought the person in said no way and got them out of there, because if you cut into someone to take out their gallbladder when they're in the middle of a heart attack, you can kill them. I mean, just simple as that. So as a doctor, you need to have this, and you go through like 4 years of training and then 4 years of residency and internships and all this to learn this stuff. And they're still making mistakes. But imagine, somebody who's just gotten the $7 health coaching certificate or a 3-month health coaching certificate or whatever, but they don't really understand how the body works. They don't know how to make judgment calls as to what might be going on and how to actually help people and when to refer out, to somebody who has more experience. That's one of the dangers I see hugely, big time.
Man, where do I even slice into this? So this is probably good 7, maybe more years ago. If someone wanted to look through my Facebook profile, they'll probably still find it. I recorded the video. It's probably about 15-minute long rant that says all consumers are all marketers are liars, all consumers are idiots, and you a dumbass, or something like this, right?
Whoa.
And at the end, it kind of made me that, I'm one of those dumbass liars because I keep falling for all the tricks in the marketplace. And at the same time, I am a marketer and I use language plays to get people's interest, right? So $7 programs, just bear with me here. I won't even touch this one that you send me a link to. That's like this anointment, whatever, from God. And I want to be very respectful of people's religions, but that particular company or person behind it was just downright making people fearful, playing on their religion beliefs. I mean, it was just ugly marketing, right? So I think that a marketplace needs more awareness in general for people, regardless where they are in life. I don't care how much pain they are. They wouldn't be stupid enough to believe that kind of message and shell out whatever it is, $70 in a bottle of freaking snake oil that won't do shit for you, right? That's number one. Number two, where I'm going with it, like if you are a practitioner and you want to get good, like realize you want $7. Think about, can there really be a legitimate company that's training, licensing, certifying you for $7? I mean, really, it's attractive as much as we would love to believe it.
Right.
How dumb do you have to be to really believe that that's true? So, as an intelligent person, you have to take into the consideration that might be a trick, might be a marketing of some sorts ploy, right? Maybe a first-time purchase, and then there will be a lifetime of upselling you and all sorts of stuff. Another thing, if it's for $7, you're going to get a complete solution to everything. Like if it's so good, why do doctors get into hundreds of thousands of dollars in debt for going through schools and practicum and everything else, right? If you can just get it for $7, why not? So my point is this: realize they're legitimate offers. And yeah, I'm not saying if you buy something for $7, it's bad. There may be good info in there, but I realize it's a Kickstarter and you are likely paying someone for the privilege to market to you, right? You pay for the privilege of receiving their marketing messages. And that's what you're going to mostly get. Everything else would be just some good info mixed with a lot of fluff that you're going to have to swim through to get to the good stuff. Right?
Absolutely.
All right.
Absolutely.
What's another dangerous trend you see?
Well, when I see, the Black Friday thing just drove me nuts. The Black Friday sales, every other email is like selling you all this stuff that's going to change your life forever. And I'm like, what, how can this change my life forever? Right? You don't even know me. You don't know who I am. You don't know what I'm already doing, but you're going to sell me this probiotic supplement or this particular thing. And I want to believe it if I'm sick. I really do. I want to believe that I can get better and I don't have to give up chocolate cake and ice cream and all that other stuff. I want to believe that it's easy. But the truth of the matter is, most of these poor people who they're preying on have been trying for a long time to get well. And I've been told that we don't know the answers because there's no drug solution for it. Right. Another one that drove me crazy, and this happens a lot on the internet. You see on Facebook, I'm just writing for all those people who are depressed or have Alzheimer's or have whatever autoimmune and all the suffering we go through. Let's raise our hands and share this. Right. But what it does is it gives out a message of you're hopeless. So it
Mhm.
basically yesterday I commented on one. I probably lost a lot of respect in responding, but it said basically about autoimmune. Autoimmune is not it's not like having a cold or the flu. When you have autoimmune disease, it doesn't get better. You're never going to get better. I'm like, seriously? You're going to tell people that? And now you want them to share it with all their friends? Autoimmune diseases don't get better. And the reason, and I wrote back, I said, Western medicine does not have a solution because there's no drug solution for autoimmune. But have you looked at all the
Wow.
research on, Dr. Terry Walls, an MD neurologist who cured herself of MS, right? Completely. She was in her incline wheelchair and now she rides her bike, right? And she's teaching other people and she's getting grants, grants from the Veterans Association and other, well-known organizations to teach people how to not be lost in the sea of I have an autoimmune disease, poor me, but in the what can I do about it? Now, her program's not easy. It means you have to change your diet. It means you
Mm.
have to eat a lot more vegetables and fruits. It means you have to stay off the sugars and the glutens it means all that. But she's giving people hope and she's giving people their lives back. And this woman took this thing and decided to share it because somebody else shared it with her. She's like, that's my truth. I live that truth every day. I'm like, you're believing it's the truth because you haven't explored anything else. Because clearly she hasn't explored anything else because there's tons of research out there on how to take charge of your autoimmune disease. So those kind of things bother me, like that whole share this with all your friends, right? Just copy paste it, put it in your news feed, and yeah, and people
So,
fall for it.
so let me get something. So, the autoimmune disease, you can't get better. So, what was the point of sharing that message? Like, you're basically screwed. Like, what was the
Basically
hope?
screwed and feel sorry for us. Like really reach out to all your friends who have autoimmune disease and understand they're not faking it. They can't get better. I mean, that's basically what I took from it. It was so
Okay, it's very
disempowering,
depressing.
very
I don't know
depressing.
what purpose that message has other than just feel sorry for me.
Feel sorry
All
for
right.
me. I don't know because she didn't think about it. She just copy pasted it. And that's what a lot of these copy paste messages are. And people send these copy paste things. And I'm like, did you even read this?
So, there are a couple of things I want to point out. So, one is this pain versus prevention, right?
Mhm.
Um, so it's and you are leading the fight against their pain masking kind of last minute whatever. I don't even know what to call that, the medical industry nowadays. I don't even know what it
Band-aid.
does. Yeah, it's like put a band-aid on it versus really prevention and when possible like reversing or eliminating the core cause, right? What's
Yep.
happening.
Yep.
And I think here's why I think it's important and why I love the work that you do and the message that I want to share with everybody else that's getting in whatever business.
Yeah.
If you get us yourself in a business of eliminating symptoms, you'll likely make some money right now, but long term, you'll always be exposed to whatever the trend is right now, right?
Mhm.
Because someone will always come up with a better band-aid and you go like, oh shit, my band-aid doesn't work. Versus if you're in the business of really eliminating the causes, then it's like that does not go away.
Mhm.
And it allows you for long term to actually build a really long term sustainable business. So, look, I've been at this for 22 years marketing online. I can't even tell you. So, Facebook is a phenomenal tool because I get to connect with people sometimes that I remember them from, 12 years
Yeah.
ago, 15 years ago, and they were like hot shots. They were nowhere to be found today. They're out of business. They're ashamed to show up in places because they scam people, right? Or they fall for the latest trend. And then now they kind of go like, well, I had to reinvent myself because that industry was dead to me. I couldn't show my face anymore. So,
Mm.
yeah, this is pain versus prevention, like really looking at what's the message you want to put out there,
Yes.
right?
Yes.
Yeah.
Yeah. And as a practitioner, you want to help people to get to the cause because you just need stronger band-aids and then the band-aids kill you, right? It's like and you would read this anywhere in a medical text or a medical journal. Like the whole point of chemo, for example, is to kill the cancer before you kill the person. It's not always successful. You need stronger and stronger things with stronger and stronger side effects. And as practitioners, it's more work, right? We really have to know the body and how it works. We have to know the kind of questions to ask
Mm.
to get to the heart of what's really going on. And then we need to understand how it works to help restore balance to those things that are out of balance.
Well,
So
so
it's a lot
look,
of work.
uh, so I think that the trend we're really getting at is like, and this is nothing new, right? Everybody wants a microwavable solution right now.
Right.
Everybody wants a pill form of a solver rather than just actually doing the work. But now, so we have two things: one for practitioners and for consumers. So for practitioners, right? Two-part question, Rita Marie. One, if someone is newer in this industry, getting into this, what would you tell them to, how do they position themselves and how do they position themselves? What do they go for education? Because again, it seems that the world wants a pill. And if you really want to be a practitioner, a purveyor of true health solutions, you don't have pills, right? You have frameworks that people have to work through and apply, and that won't most likely won't be easy. I'll come back to that. But again, to practitioners, if they're newer, what do they do? How do they maneuver in this marketplace?
You have to really sort out where are you getting your education from, right? Are you getting your education from somebody who got their education from a $7 health coaching program? And I'm using that as to be facetious, but or do you want to get your education from someone who's had decades of experience in actually looking for root causes and actually helping people to get well, right? And you don't want to nothing bad about somebody who just took a health coaching program 2 years ago and now is teaching practitioners, but they might be able to teach this much. Somebody who's been doing this for decades can teach you so much more. Plus, there's, like you said earlier, protocols, right? You do protocols. And so your protocol just goes so far. Give this vitamin for this condition, give this drug for this condition. Whereas when you understand how the whole body works, you can come up with, okay, I'm going to go through step-by-step frameworks. I like to call them frameworks just because it's not a protocol, it's not a blueprint. It's not like exactly do this because it's different from person to person. But what are all the pieces you want to evaluate so you know how to help this person to really get to the root cause? Now there's genetics, right? Everybody's looking at genetics and genetic factors, and I love genetics and I think it's super valuable. But you don't want to do the genetics from the standpoint of some of these companies out there, which say, send us your genes and we'll send you a list of customized supplements based on your genes. That's bad. I mean, that's not true. You cannot give somebody a set of supplements to take based on their genes because genes are just a blueprint that the body has. And you've got to look at how is it manifesting? And
Mm.
the whole concept of epigenetics, which is how we can modify the expression of our genes, that we can say somebody who has really bad genes, like, for example, give you an example. I've done my genes and I have a lot of genes that would make me, not so sharp up at the top, right? That would make me a little bit spacey and brain fogged and all this. Yet my lifestyle, my diet, my approach to the underlying causes had led me to
Huh.
have a pretty darn good brain.
I'm pausing here because I'm thinking like, for a while, I was part of the private healthcare system, like premium on the top of regular health insurance that actually connected with this genetic research thing. And, there was a number of times that I kind of looked at the recommendations based on this, and I kind of went like, that's all you can come up with, like all the science, and that's the best you can do. Like that, it was lame at best. And again, and I thought, and that's what happens when you generalize. Like
Right.
you don't make it specific to a person. You don't know anything about me, even though in that particular system they did know a lot about me. It was still like as generic as it gets. I'm like, well, you don't. There's so many factors that you've got to account for, right? But in order now, you have to be actually a qualified practitioner, and you have to have a in-depth information and usually a lot of field experience to be able to properly diagnose and actually um, advise on the steps to take to move forward. Would you agree with that?
Oh, totally, totally. And going back to the genetics for a second, about I don't know 8 or 10 years ago when I first started delving into analyzing genetics, I had my own genetics analyzed by this particular company. They said, send us your report and we'll give you, a supplement protocol. Here I am, this like perfectly healthy person, super dynamic, full of energy. And they gave me like a 7-page supplement list. Of course, they could sell all those supplements to me.
Mm-hmm.
Right? Why do I need all those supplements? Right? Did you ask me what I eat? Did you ask me how I
So
sleep?
I'm completely getting off on a different track in here because you mentioned supplements. So number one, question for you. I've got a dangerous trend to out here, but number one, what's your take on supplements?
Supplements are useful for people who need them, and supplements would be a supplement to an already, good diet.
Hence the name supplement.
What's that?
Hence the name supplement.
Hence the name supplement, right? It's not called replacement for food, which what people want. And there's times you need some. I mean, we live in an environment where there's a lot of stress, there's a lot of pollution, and we can't always extract everything from food. And then when you look at the food most people eat, it's usually a bunch of garbage and there's not a lot of nutrition in it. And then the soils are depleted. So yeah, people need supplements, and we use testing and
Yeah.
we use symptom surveys, and we get deep in there to help people to decide. But so for example, I spent the day on Saturday going through about 13 people's genetic reports, stood up for 8 hours and shared with them what I was seeing and what kind of things they needed to be careful about, right? This
Mhm.
particular genetic piece would make it so that if you're exposed to this particular toxin, you may not handle it properly. So let's avoid this particular set of toxins. And then there's some others that are related to nutrients, that the receptors for those nutrients may be impaired, based on this. And so I was like, first things first is let's look at your diet and see, are you getting enough of these things? And second thing is take a little extra of this because you have this particular genetic, and don't take the chance that you're going to have enough because you may not, because of this
Yeah.
genetic piece. So it's a matter of like giving people a sound advice, but that's not like, here's your list. And I find, and this is another one of my pet peeves, there's a lot of folks who have come through allopathic medical training, which is more geared towards a this for a that. What's the diagnosis? Here's what the cure is. And they've gone through that, and then they decide, oh, I want to learn more about this functional medicine stuff. I want to learn more about this nutritional stuff. But they take their same thinking cap and they apply it. So now somebody comes in the door and they run like $1,000 worth of functional tests. Helpful. I teach how to run functional tests and use them. But then the person walks away with like, oh, come back in 6 weeks when the test results are back. I'm like, did you want to talk to them about their sleep? Do you want to talk to them about their stress? Do you want to talk to them about their water intake? Do you want to talk to them about their exercise? Do you want to talk about the crap they're eating? No, let's just come back in 6 weeks and we'll give you this long list of supplements to take. And that's what they do.
Got
And
it.
people are wondering, and they come to see me and my practitioners that I've trained, and we're like, did they talk to you about having more
So
than one bowel movement a day?
I think this is actually the trend that I would see. Um, and I actually will blame marketers for it. The whole supplement explosion, right? And we've all seen it in the last probably decade. Actually,
Mhm.
I won't mention the name, but there is a person who popularized, like, hey, start your own supplement business. You can get it formulated like here for a few dollars, and you can get a bottle made for $2 and sell it for 25. Look at that, great deal. And the funny thing is that in somewhere around early 2000s, FTC cracked down on that business because, back then they were like male enhancement drugs or whatever, but now it moved into every area of life, right? Every area of life, there's a freaking supplement. There's a supplement that helps you get up in the morning. There's a supplement that helps you fart. There's a supplement that stops you from farting. There's a supplement that makes your hair grow on your back. That was a joke, right? But the point is, so many of them, kind of like this anointed oil thing that we've watched, are just nothing but some ingredients that are mixed together. And yeah, each of those ingredients may have some values, but not to the point like if you take it, it's going to make you 7 times more intelligent in 7 weeks. Like, where are you getting this crap, right? And then, so that's one pet peeve, inventing your own line of supplements because it's so profitable, right? And I think a lot of practitioners, once they have certain momentum, they fall for this. They go like, oh, I will either white label someone's line or actually, manufacture my own supplements because it's a solution to everything. Again, nothing completely wrong with it. It's just how it's structured. And then on the flip side, what you referred to, what I see that's wrong, it's like, again, you get a list of supplements and you need to be taking those 3 times a day. Like, are you kidding me? Like, how do you know that for sure? Should we test in a few weeks to see if it's actually needed, if it makes a difference? I think another part is like, does my body actually absorb this? Should we talk about that at all? Nothing, but just, number one, let's make our own supplements because it's such a good business. Number two, let's just prescribe to people, right? Let's just recommend that they take a bunch of supplements. Whether it's helpful or not, I don't care, but there is money rolling in every month. Drives me freaking nuts.
Yes. Me too. I don't do supplement things. If I think somebody needs one, I'll send them off to somebody who I know makes good, reputable supplements. I don't have my own supplement line.
Just a side note, offline, when we get off the air, let's talk about it. I'll hook you up with a good private line. You should sell supplements. There's good money in there.
Okay. All right. We'll look at that. No,
I think we have no idea if I'm for real or just joking. I'm joking, guys. I'm joking.
I know he's joking. You have to know him. He's joking. But the point is that it's all supplements are useful. People ask me, what about bioidentical hormones? Yeah. I mean, you got the gland removed that's supposed to make that hormone. You better believe you want to put it back, and you want to put it back in a way that the way the body makes it, not just like something that's
Rita Marie, should we kick off this sex info something?
Woo! Dina, can you get rid of that person?
No, that is a hot trend that's happening in the industry right there.
Let's see. I don't even know if I can get rid of that person. It's block user on YouTube. Okay, block user.
Is that where it's coming from?
I don't know. I don't know where it's coming from. But Dina, if there's any way you can do this, she's my assistant. Dina, get rid of those people. Hot photos of my sister.
Such a hot topic is attracting spammers. Look at that.
I know we're getting.
All right, I've got another pet peeve I want to talk a little bit briefly for. But what's yours? Would there be another pet peeve or trend that you see that drives you nuts?
Well, I think we covered most of them. We covered the slimy supplement, snake oil sales that just promise people the world but can't deliver. That's one. The other one was the become a health coach, become a whatever. If you saw an ad that said become a brain surgeon in 7 weeks, would you fall for it?
Are you serious?
No, I haven't seen that one yet, but would somebody fall for it? I bet they would. Like, I could save like $500,000.
All right.
Right. And a lot of work. And here's the thing, anything that is taking and giving you a skill to become competent, you need to build the skill. You need to actually.
I got a great idea.
Okay.
For all the people that get licensed as health coaches for $7, we're going to send them off for a referral fee to the 7-week brain surgeon. You're going to make a fortune on that.
There you go. Right?
I'm all about making a buck, man. This is
make
so
a buck, cool. Right? And that's the thing. I mean, I'm all for making money. We all have to make money, and we have to have good marketing strategies, and we have to be able to be persuasive and help people to decide what they need to do for them. It's when it's easy and it's deceptive, and it's giving them the false idea that all you have to do is take this one thing. and everything's
Yeah.
going to be fine. Competence is so important. We need to be
So,
competent.
hmm. I like that. I actually want to come back to that in a moment, right? This
Okay.
competence piece. So, there is a message. I actually made a note of it at the very beginning. Um, and this is now a few years old, and it's something that I believe came from a guy named Jack Ma, who is a founder of Alibaba,
Hmm.
kind of like, Chinese Amazon company. They're actually much bigger than Amazon, but because China is so huge,
Yeah.
obviously. He had a conversation with someone, and they talked about develop kind of where the world is going, trends, and they
Mm.
talked about technology development versus human growth. And they talked about the fact that technology develops so rapidly that human growth, human consciousness, and ethics can't keep up with it.
Mm.
So they gave a great example. Like if you wanted to have a rocket, if you wanted to build one, it would be $1 million 25 years ago. I mean, it would be like, it actually was more like whatever, like some
Yeah,
crazy
a lot
amount
of
of money,
$1 million.
right?
Yeah, ridiculous.
Then a decade ago, 15 years ago, it would be $1 million. Then 5 years ago was 1,000, and today, for $100, you can get a drone that has an explosive attached, and you can literally go and bomb a shit out of people that are miles and miles away. And you have the ability. So now, but that has developed so rapidly, but humans' ability to process emotions, think more, ethically, think more, be more consciously aware, isn't progressing as fast. Now, essentially, every idiot that gets pissed off at the neighbor can build a rocket and go bomb the crap out of them,
Yeah.
right? Doesn't mean you have to do this, but the ability is there, and we have to rapidly develop as human beings. So why am I mentioning this? Because I see in the business industry, look, one of the fastest ways, or easiest skills to learn is marketing lingo. Like you just flap your lips and say a few right things, kind of like this anointed oil, right? You
Right.
just say the right, push the right buttons, and people suddenly become like robots and they go, oh, I need that thing. Here's my $25. And so I see it in my industry that people will learn how to push the right buttons,
Mhm.
collect the right amount of money, but they have zero skills to deliver on what they promised,
Yeah.
right? So I think the same, you are fighting against the same thing in the health coaching industry, that people will they can sell something to someone, but they don't have their chops to deliver on what they sold.
Yeah.
Right. All right. So this brings me back to this competency, Rita Marie. Again, someone that does not have many, many years of training, that does not have many, many years of practice. Um, and, can they start helping people? Can they be in a health coach, health advisor, health practitioner of some sorts? Can they? And if so, how?
Yeah, of course they can, but they have to recognize their limitations, and they have to recognize that there are people who they may want to go to for advice and be in a community like we have in a community where people, when they get tough cases while they're learning, they come and they bring them to me, right? And they go, oh, I never thought of it that way. Why? Because I have 35 years of experience and you don't, right? So yes, we need to surround ourselves by smart people, right? People like me who haven't been in a marketing industry for as long as you. I go to you, and it's really, from my perspective, the reason I love working with you is because you're so honest and because you're so forthright, and you don't try to pull the wool over my eyes, right?
Mm.
You tell it like it is. And that's what we need, is we need mentors and guides and coaches that are going to tell us like it is. I love this. Bo asked this. She said,
Fans in the crowd. Yep.
how about
Do you
this
see this?
term? Oh, let me read this one. Focusing on only one aspect of health when suggesting solutions. So now I hear a lot of health gurus tying everything to gut health, but never mentioning anything else. And it's like, that whole expression, if the only tool you have is a hammer, everything looks like a nail,
Yep.
right? And that happens in health, it happens in marketing, it happens all over. And yeah, gut health is super important. but so's blood sugar health, and so's mental health, and so's activating the vagus nerve and being in a parasympathetic nervous system state. All of those things are important. And as a good health coach, health and wellness practitioner, you need to be able to identify for each individual person, what is that linchpin for them, right? Is it gut health or is it something
Yeah.
else?
So, I wonder what your take is. Actually, before I ask this question, how much time do we have? What's our cutoff today?
What time do we have? We have about 15 minutes.
Okay. So as you're discussing this, when I ask you a question like how can people get started? What are some good moves? 100% agree with you. Plug into a community of people that are actually skilled, right? The
Yeah.
practice in the field that you want to practice the way you would ideally want to practice, not some hacks. I've used it in marketing, and in fact, this is like there's so many thoughts coming to my head. One is this from one of my favorite marketing mentors, Jay Abraham. He talks about the strategy of preeminence. Preeminence, and preeminence is about almost having a fiduciary-like duty to your marketplace, where you are going out of your way to help people, even if, and even more so, or especially so, when they're not clients yet, when there's no money involved.
Yeah.
Like you're just sharing good information. You just want to be elevating
Helpful.
people. I want to help you,
Right.
right? It isn't
Yeah.
just like, well, I'm going to give you this crappy info because you're not paying me. Once you pay me, then you're getting the good stuff. It makes no sense, right? It's like hoodwinking people to do money. You want honest clients. You want them to love you. You want them to cherish you for life. But meanwhile, you're using manipulation and trickery to get them to do business with you. It doesn't work like this. You either are straight and running a straight up business, or you are a crook and you're running a crooked business. There is no in between. Like, so you got to decide. So here's my question, this competency. What's your take on, like, my thinking is when someone starts at something, a great way to start practicing and actually develop good reputation for yourself is to focus on a sliver of something.
Mhm.
Right? So for example, as a practitioner, you could start getting good at something because you can dive deep into that thing and get good at it. But now that brings that issue. If you have one solution, everything you hammer, everything is a nail, right?
Right.
So my solution to that is that you've got to be honest with your clients, with your consumers, and say, look, I am fixing this thing for the kind of people that meet those kinds of conditions. And then it's on you as a practitioner to really pre-qualify abundantly, right? And if
Yes.
someone doesn't meet certain conditions, this is where you tell them, look, I've got to either disclose a bunch of things, or we may have to have third party involved, or I have to send you somewhere else because I do this thing under these kinds of conditions. That's all I do. What's your take on this kind of approach to get people going?
I think it's a great way to get started. And in fact, when we bring people into our, we have a 2-year certification program, and people are like, I don't want to wait 2 years to be able to do, and you don't
Yeah.
have to. But we front load with this, there's stuff at the beginning that if you master that, you can help this many people, right? If you get through the whole thing, you can help this many people, right? But these are the people, and to recognize those are the people that you can help. And those are the kind of problems. And if somebody comes to you and says, I've been working with 20 different practitioners and a naturopath and a partridge in a pear tree, appropriate time of year to say that expression, but that's what people do, then they have to be able to say, wow, here's how I can help you. I'm a few steps ahead of you here, and you're having some issues with what to eat and how to eat it and all this. I can help you with that. What I'd love to do with you is to help you with the pieces I can help you with. And then if that's not enough, then I'm going to bring in some other people that can help you go further. The truth of the matter is, sometimes when you hit those foundational things that are out of balance, and somebody's like this far gone, right? You can get them 90% of the way there, because there's so many foundational things that are out of balance that are throwing their health into an uproar. But it's being honest. It's being honest. And
Right.
like the question that came up before about gut. You don't just say to somebody, because the only thing I know how to fix is your gut, is everything's related to your gut. Let's just do this. No, you say, look, you've got some indications of gut imbalance. Some of the things that you're manifesting probably are coming from your gut. Let's
Mhm.
start there because it's a great place to start. And then we can move into other things if we need to.
Hmm. I like that. So, I asked earlier about people that are getting started and kind of leading this conversation this way. How about folks that are already in practice? And again, they have to compete against those $7 certified health coaches.
Mhm.
And man, your assistant has to like fight those people on YouTube because there's another moron out
There's
there
another one.
that's just like looking for an easy marketing.
Knock them out, God. Knock them out, Vina. Go for it.
I think you're not realizing this is probably you've got probably mostly women as an audience, so don't you?
Yeah, I would say probably 80 to 90%
Yeah.
tend to
So
be
it's kind of
women.
like my audience. I've got mostly women as audience too. But anyway, back to this thing. So the trend is, microwave solutions, cheap trainings that pretend to be everything to everyone. And
Mhm.
now again, someone takes a weekend training or a $7 course and they go like, all right, I'm a health coach. And on the flip side of it, there are those practitioners who have years of practice, tremendous amount of great information, their phenomenal ability to actually really make a difference and help someone. But now, how do they compete against the $7 coach who can fix every problem and cure it in 7 minutes for
It
$7?
is a challenge because you have to have the confidence to get out there and
Hmm.
feel good about what you're doing. And there's a lot of practitioners who have been in practice for 20 years. I'm looking, we have a couple of people in here that I recognize as a nurse practitioner or in the conventional system, but are going, I don't know enough about nutrition and functional medicine and how to help people on that root cause level. I just know about drugs and surgeries. So there's those people who are very humble that come and say, here's my limitations. I want to learn what you know. I want to learn how to use this nutritional thing. But then on the other hand, a lot of those folks who do the $7 trainings are like out there with so much confidence. I've got it. And they're doing videos and they're doing this. And they speak with such confidence that a lot of people who are well meaning but don't really know are lost. They're like, oh, you sound good. You sound better than you. So I think it's really important to get yourself out there and to speak the truth and to show your expertise. So if you're going to do a YouTube video, there's a lot of people who do amazing YouTube videos and they put up beautiful slides and they show you that they understand the inner working of the body. And then there's others who just go, hey, just buy my supplement, right? And we have to teach people to
Hmm.
discern that. But I think that those of us who have the skill, who have that ability, need to get out there and let people know. And that's why I'm doing what I'm doing now, because I don't want people to just go off and think that they can do a $7 health coaching program or learn to be an amazing health coach practitioner or whatever in 3 months. It doesn't work that way, right? I mean, I'm still learning and I've been doing this over 30 years. But every day I learn something new. Every day I pick up a new journal article and I read and oh, I didn't understand that mechanism. Or every time I get a client who's suffering from something that I haven't really seen before, what am I going to do? I'm going to research. But because I know how this works and I have the basic understanding or the in-depth understanding, I can add those the discernment of those studies as to what makes sense.
I like that word discernment. Like the more knowledge you have, the more points of views you've collected, right? The more discerning you can be with how to guide someone. I like that. Just before we got on this call, I was reading something, and it was about the fourth industrial revolution and the fifth industrial revolution. I was kind of reading with the skepticism, but the idea was, the fourth industrial revolution was really about getting online and computers and automating everything. And the fifth industrial revolution, and those are all coined terms by someone not really relevant. But the point is that the trend is like so prevailing right now that companies are racing each other to bend
Mm.
technology back to being more human, right? So we once craved a lot more just hands off, automation, don't bother me. And we've learned that it ain't pretty as we thought it would be. And now we want back to this connection and human beings and touch and service and caring. And I think this is kind of ultimately where we are getting. So there's another sub point to that, and I want to bring it together. I needed some physiotherapy, and so two things. One, I was recommended. There are two top choices. There's so many physiotherapists. They're just down the street. I can literally like walk out and just find one, right? So I am driving halfway across the city to go to visit someone that was highly recommended to me. And this is someone that's got 30 years of experience and so many different points of view on the therapy, like so many different tools that most practitioners won't even acquire that many tools, right? So that's number one. Like for me, the point is become a lifelong student.
Yes.
Second one, that practitioner, if it weren't for recommendation, I would have never found him. And yet he's so busy that, he has to like find time to squeeze me in. No marketing. Like he's horrible at marketing. There is a flip side of it that I want to share with you. There is another practitioner that I considered, a little bit younger, extremely well experienced. Again, pretty much fits what I'm looking to, what I needed. And that one I found because he's sharing so much information on YouTube. Like everything I want to look up, he's got YouTube videos. And here's why this is important. I believe in teaching.
Yes.
Right? Give information for free because your ideal clients will become aware of you. They can't do it themselves anyway. They need your expertise. They don't want to learn this in depth. But sometimes people stop themselves from teaching because they think I don't have something in place. So this guy, the videos, I mean, you can see the progression over the years. The videos have gotten better. But even to this point, the videos are just kind of homemade videos, like right there in the practice. A little shaky camera, let me move camera, let me do this. There's a little bit of editing, but they're very low production. And that's the point. People will take lesser production value, lesser quality, but great content. Right. So put yourself out there, putting good information. And my long-winded message is this. Look, people want to connect with you. They want to know that you care, right? That's the predominant trend today. They want to know that you can deliver results. So the more training, the more points of view you can acquire, the better. The more tools, the more equipped you are, the better you will be at actually creating real solutions rather than just like you see a nail and out comes a hammer. And then the last part, look, you can become really good and you will be, people become so good, people will come and pay you to watch your work. That's the work by referral, right? Yeah. But on the flip side, one of the ways to stand out and combat their wannabes and pretenders is just out-educate them, out-educate your marketplace. Again, this strategy of preeminence, teach, 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 and the right clients will just come to you. If you worry someone is going to steal your information and use it for their advantage, look, that will happen anyway, believe me.
Yeah.
Anyway, so they might as well learn it from you. So out-market you those wannabes competitors by just being a better purveyor of solid information on your subject of expertise.
Yeah. Right? And interestingly enough that you say that, because years ago I didn't know what I was doing from a marketing perspective, but I would put out information and I put out this and put out that, and it's all on my website. And I remember somebody coming in to see me for a private consultation back in the day when I did those in my office right here. And she had this nice binder full of information. She goes, oh, I think I remember that. Oh, I think I remember that. I'm like, wow, you have been researching, and where did you get all that great information? She says, it's all on your website for
Good one. I love it.
Really should be charging for this, but I'm glad you didn't. But then she was there because she knew, because I had all this great information, she knew that she needed somebody to help her go deeper, and I could do that.
Which you actually bring up another point. Isn't that a phenomenal client to work with?
Yes.
Right. So this is how you create phenomenal clients. You give them all of the information to binge on in between working with you in private consultations. Love it. All right, Rita Marie. Action steps for this is predominantly your audience. What should people do? how to protect themselves from being taken advantage by by scammers, how to get started with getting solid information. Where do they find more of you if this is the first time they're meeting you? All of those things.
All those things. So here's the thing, discernment. We used that word earlier, right? You really have to be educated, and don't fall for those. I'm the pastor and I read the Bible and the Bible says this. And don't fall for the, you can still eat your M&Ms and whatever, and your blood sugar will normalize if you just take this one thing. You got to use your common sense over and above that passion for getting better, right? It's super, super important. So I think if you're dealing with your own health issues, read carefully, don't fall for it, because it might be like a $5 offer here from this good Black Friday, and another $10 here, and when you add that all up, you could have put all that money together and paid for some really good information, right? So don't fall for it. When you start to feel fear coming up, but while you're watching an ad, or while you're looking at, oh, I really want to buy this supplement, but it's $350, do I really, and there's a lot of them out there like that, then you're feeling fear, you're afraid not to. We have that FOMO. What if this is the truth, right? And people who are partially into religion and partially not, they go, oh, I don't really believe in God, but what if there really is a God, right? What if God spoke through this pastor and gave him the message, right? So when you start to doubt your core beliefs and you start to feel fear, that's when you know that there's some other things that you need to be looking at. And it's really educate. Like, we're big into empowering our clients. And those of you who are in my programs, I see several of you here, the amount of information that's in my programs for like dirt cheap, right? A low end membership. They can learn what they need to learn, but then they need us to make sense of it if they're having health issues, right?
Yeah.
So I think if you're having health issues, you want to learn, and don't listen to everything out there. We see people who are food phobic because Dr. X said don't eat oxalates, and Dr. Y said don't eat nightshades, and Dr. Z said don't eat meat, and Dr. A said don't eat this and don't eat that. And they're like, what am I supposed to eat? There's nothing
Yeah.
left, right?
Yeah.
Use discernment. That's what we train our practitioners to do, is to be able to tell when somebody needs a specific no whatever diet and when they don't, and how to actually do it safely. And there's no diet that, if you just go on the no gluten or no dairy or no eggs or no whatever diet, that's going to cure all your problems. It's really a matter of understanding how this all works and being able to apply it. And that's what I'm big on. Big
Yeah.
on. Yeah.
You
Yeah.
know, I love this. I would just, in addition to this sermon, I would use another one, diligence. All right. So
Mhm.
again, we talked about this anointed oil a lot today because I think it's so fresh. I mean, I was just, um,
Anyway, right?
I cannot even describe the emotions I felt when I was watching this. I'm like, wow, that is just like the lowest of the low. But again, I'm an educated marketer. I see what they're doing. But an average consumer will not have the awareness. But the awareness of, like the guy mentioned, stories of family members or parishioners or whatever. Where are their faces? Where are their names? Where's the before and after? Even movie, like this is happening over the period of time. Where's the short clip of this person not being able to do something and now they're able to do this?
Yes.
Where's the actual commentary? Internet is a beautiful, multifaceted tool. Use it. Do your homework. Like if you see something that's so amazing, do a little bit of homework,
Yeah.
right? Study a little bit of background. How did this start? Where did it come from? What are the results? How long has it been around? What are other people saying? And not to say that everybody who has an opinion is right, but at least you gather some ammunition to make your own decision rather than just blindly believing,
Exactly.
somebody's promotional reel. So
Mhm.
that's kind of my take on it. Educate yourself, use and do the diligence. Don't just go, oh my God, it's so exciting. I'll be healthy tomorrow. Use diligence. All right. Where do folks go to find you, Rita Marie?
Well, right here on YouTube, Facebook, wherever you happen to be watching now, Dr. Rita Marie on YouTube, Facebook, Instagram, wherever. and drritamarie.com. And we do have a lot of good information on our website. In fact, somebody went through my website and said, wow, you have a lot of stuff that says get more information here and all that, but you don't have anything that says buy something. I'm like, well, maybe I need to fix that, because I'm not telling anybody to buy anything off my website, but we're providing that. And I'm doing videos every week, sometimes twice a week, lives, and then we'll do some recordeds to share information, because we need the educated consumer is our best customer, right? That's what Barney's back in New York
Yeah,
when I was living there. And the more you know, the better you're going to be able to take care of you. And I think that we just all need to do that.
yeah.
Absolutely.
I should have done this at first, but I'm going to close with this. So, speaking of diligence, you kind of never know who you get, right? So, again, you don't know me from Adam, so you may think I'm a paid show. I'm not, but I had a privilege of meeting Dr. Rita Marie in real life, and I've got to tell, and I've been in marketing business for 20 plus years, entrepreneur for 30 years, and in the years of just being a marketer, helping other businesses, I've met a lot of health coaches, health practitioners, who are kind of bent on one method. And the thing is that, I actually developed kind of my own little thing. Like I'm looking, somebody's like, hey, I'm this health coach doing this and that. Again, lots of amazing people out there. But I got to tell you, a lot of them, I'm like, you're not that healthy yourself. You just like the thing you're teaching is actually like slowly killing you. And yet you're teaching others to do the same thing. Like something is wrong. So here's my long-winded endorsement for you. Like we've met, and even like I love practitioners who are preachers. I hate preachers who sometimes practice, but I love full-time practitioners who sometimes preach. You are a full-time practitioner who preaches, and I absolutely love that. You are just an example of vivid health. And I love when you like post your pictures in tropical places, because sometimes when I tell people like, hey, go get your info to your site, then I go, hey, I can't remember the site, but that's the profile. Just look it up, and they go like, how old is this woman? I'm like, yeah. And they're like, no way. I'm like, yeah, way. so,
I had to show somebody my
obviously,
driver's
whatever
license.
you're doing is working.
Thank you. Thank you. And it's important. I think we need to practice what we preach. And I think we need to be living examples of what we're inspiring people to do. So I appreciate you saying that. The other thing is, anybody that's interested, if you want to know more about our programs, just go to NEPT apply, and we'll talk to you about what we can do to help you if you are a health practitioner or want to become one. We don't take newbies, like, hot off the street. You have to know something, but you could have self-studied for a long time, because there needs to be a base level of competency for you to get into our programs. I'm seeing a few people from our program here. I love it. Inga. I'm going to just say shout out to Inga. Inga is an acupuncturist, Chinese medicine practitioner. She's 83, I believe, Inga. I don't know. She may not want me to tell people that, but she joined our nutritional endocrinology practitioner training just a couple of years ago, because she felt like she wanted to learn more. Like at 83, you think, oh, I'm done. I know enough. 84, sorry. Thank you, Inga. 84. And she's amazing, right? And she's getting out there and she's doing videos. And because she just wants to keep learning, right? And she knows that this is the next step. And that's where I want to encourage you all to have this love of learning. And she said, education and learning for the rest of my life, right? However long that might be, for the rest of life. So I appreciate it. I saw Ginger here earlier. She's a nurse practitioner, has been in practice for decades. And it's like, I need this, I need to learn this piece of it to really get to the root cause and help people on a deep level. So yeah. So I thank you, Adam, for being here, and for taking time out of your busy life, and for being such a good mentor to me, right? And slapping me on the wrist when I go down the wrong path, and giving me encouragement when I go down the right path. So I encourage you, because my goal is to help a lot of people, right? And I need to not play small, and I need to not keep my mouth shut. I need to get out there and share this message with the world. You deserve to be healthy. You know how to be healthy. This inner healer in here knows how to be healthy. You just got to get out of its way. And it doesn't happen by taking some special snake oil. It happens by doing the work.
Yeah. I think that's a phenomenal end note, right? You have the right, you deserve to be healthy, and it doesn't come in the form of a pill, right? If you want to sit on the couch, waste your life consuming unhealthy food and unhealthy information, and just think you're going to take a pill and it's going to fix it all, it won't, right? So both as a practitioner, as a consumer, become aware of what it takes to transform your life for the better. As a practitioner, become better at inspiring a new wave of consumers who just want to get on the right path. And again, rising tide lifts all the boats, but it takes work.
It
So
takes
that's, I think, our message at the end.
So thank you, Adam. This is Adam Urbanski. Joined me today. And I'm Dr. Rita Marie Loscalzo. Subscribe to the channel so you don't miss anything from us. We're here to support you in getting your own health back, but also helping clients and patients to get their health back. So until next time, be well.
Take care.